During many years, the Earth has suffered because of many different problems, such as climate change, contamination in forests and oceans, deforestation, among others. These aspects affect us a lot because without them, we couldn't live.
For example, in the case of deforestation, nowadays 15.8 million of hectares of trees have been cut down. This became a huge problem because trees are the ones that give humans oxygen to breathe. The excess of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is another environmental problem on Earth. Deforestation is the main cause of this. Trees help to absorb carbon dioxide that is released in the atmosphere, and as mentioned before, they produce oxygen.
Animals and plants are also a very important aspect. Each living thing has a role that creates a system that helps us survive. The seas for different reasons. The first is that they contain something essential for the human life, which is the 97% of water in the world. They also cover the 71% of the surface of our planet, which is a very large source of energy. Approximately 972,000 of animals live in water, which give life to the sea, and many of these are foods essential in the life of a human that cannot be missing.
Last but not least, pollution is another aspect that affects ourselves, from animal life in seas and forests to ourselves. Today the problems have gotten much worse, and despite all this situation, our contribution has been minimal to improve this situation. There are still people who don't know the environmental situation of the planet, or who just don't take action regardless the consequence. They do not know that our planet is in very serious conditions, and it's very difficult to be able to make everything back to normal and to make the problems end.
Reason humans are looking for different, quick, and effective solutions, such as looking for new life options in other planets more viable than the Earth, since, as mentioned before, in ours there is not so much probability of being able to continue our lives, even for new generations.
The solution that humans took was to discover new exoplanets, which are planets that orbit around some stars but different from the Sun. For knowing if an exoplanet is viable for a human life, we must know and take into account aspects that are similar to Earth. These aspects are water, temperature, surface, gravity, and oxygen.
It took humans a long time to realize this and react to this situation. We started asking ourselves about different questions, like what would happen if the temperatures on our planet, the Earth, were the same as other exoplanets? What would happen if the resources on Earth ran out and we had no budget to colonize other planets? What would happen if we had enough technology to travel at the speed of light? Later of this, humans decided to start searching about different aspects of an exoplanet in specific. In this way, know if it's possible or not to colonize other planets.
They discovered a new exoplanet that from our point of view is the most viable. It's Next Centauri, an exoplanet that orbits in the available Sun. This means that the distance of the planet can orbit the star and receive enough energy to have water on its surface. However, there are other aspects that influence the human life in the planet.
The closest planet to the Earth is Proxima Centauri b. This is 4.2 light years from the Earth, which is equivalent to 40 Earth years.
Human bodies start having negative effects while in the rocket. One of those, and the most significant, is the muscular atrophy. Muscular atrophy is when the muscles start decreasing in size and strength. Sometimes this generates the paralysis of the whole body. Also, the deterioration of the skeleton. Other effects that the body has is the deterioration of the liver function. This is when the liver becomes fatty and the excessive development of tissues of a specific organ. In some cases, the decrease of the functioning of the circulatory system is also a problem, since the blood is concentrated in a specific part of the body due to the lack of gravity.
There is also a reduction in the creation of red blood cells. The functioning of the immune system is weakened. The growth of tissue between the vertebrae decompressed due to lack of severity, loss of body mass, nasal congestion, sleep disorders, and excessive flatulence. Some of these aspects diminish upon reaching the Earth, but what would happen if we managed to travel at the speed of light?
The speed of light is a theoretical limit that no object with mass can match, only particles without mass. But what would happen if we have enough technology to reach this speed? First of all, the human will not feel the movement, since according to the theory of Galilean relativity, it is impossible to feel the movement but not the acceleration in an object. When traveling at this speed, we will feel that only 4 years have passed, but really when we return to Earth, 40 years have passed without us feeling it. This is because 1 second at the speed of light is 70 seconds in the Earth. All this happens because the distance and time vary. But there is also another important aspect. We could have this technology, but the human body wouldn't survive to it, because as there are few hydrogen atoms in the space, when going at this speed, it will cause an explosion in which any human could survive. The Earth has 7 billion inhabitants, and according to the United Nations, in 2050 we will be 10 billion inhabitants, which means it will increase the use of natural resources on Earth, both renewable and non-renewable resources. Today, humans spend 1.75 times faster the Earth resources than Earth is capable of producing. Also, for humanity, the reduction of uses of natural resources have not been efficient. In the case that a new planet is colonized, it will be a possession of the country that colonized it. For example, if we brought some resources from this planet to Earth, it would be a new source of income that increases the economy of a specific country. Since these resources are necessary for the human body, what if these resources are depleted and we have no budget to colonize other planets? We would simply need to stay on Earth lacking of every basic resources that our body needs to live. For example, if we lack of clean water on our body, we will suffer of a dehydration. Also, our energy levels will fall, and some organs will stop working. Air pollution also affects our health, and all over the entire respiratory system. Most of the species of flora and fauna will also disappear. Prices will begin to rise due to the lack of resources, and the economy of most countries will decrease.
If humans would go to live to another planet, it would have an impact in our world. In this case, it would be a good one. For example, in the Earth, the clean water is getting over, and without it we couldn't live, as mentioned before. However, if we would go to another planet that has clean water and available for humans, we could bring it or transport it. In this way, we could have more possibilities of life, and water would not get over so easy. Due to that, if in this planet we have some quantity, then we could duplicate it and find more ways for getting more every day. Also, in these planets, the different plants and animals are extinguishing. Due to that, humans are killing them or their habitats because of contamination, climate change, deforestation, or just because they are living in a temperature not adequate for them. If we would go to live to another planet, we could transport the different species of nature as plants and animals, depending on their way of living. In this way, as in water, they would not get over, and this could be very good for us, because without this, it could not be possible for us to live. After this, we can see that the possibility of going and colonizing another planet is so big. Due to that, if we can find the basic resources that a human needs, it would be a very good idea for trying.
However, we should look for a planet in which their characteristics were also the same as similar as the Earth. But this is something very difficult.